Right now, whether people admit it or not, there's a quiet fear spreading. The fear that AI is moving faster than your career, faster than your business, faster than your ability to keep up. And the scariest part? Most people don't understand how it's doing that. Everywhere you look, AI is talked about like magic, like some mysterious black box only engineers understand. And it makes you wonder, am I already being replaced without even realizing it? Is my work quietly being automated behind my back? Are other people using systems I don't even know exist? Why does it feel like everyone else got a manual that I never received? Here's the uncomfortable truth most won't say out loud. AI isn't replacing smart people. It's replacing those who never learned how automation really works. And the problem? Nobody explains that difference clearly. You're left guessing, trying random tools, watching surface-level tutorials, and still feeling behind. That constant anxiety builds. Maybe you're late. Maybe you missed the window. Maybe businesses are automating entire workflows while you're still thinking AI is just chatbots and prompts. But here's the twist. The real danger isn't AI itself. It's misunderstanding what AI automation actually is. Once you see it clearly, it stops being scary. It starts becoming obvious, because AI automation isn't a single tool, a prompt, or a futuristic robot replacing humans overnight. It's a simple system of steps. Steps that quietly remove friction from work. And the people who understand those steps, they gain leverage, while everyone else stays stuck. That confusion is exactly why AI feels powerful yet overwhelming. Why tutorials skip steps, assume knowledge, and leave you guessing. Why some businesses suddenly scale faster with fewer people. If you've ever felt conversations about AI jump too fast, skip crucial details, or assume knowledge you never got, it's not your fault. Most explanations start in the middle instead of the beginning. In this video, we're going to slow everything down, strip away the hype, and show you how AI automation actually works, step by step, with real-life examples so simple you'll wonder why nobody explained it this way before. Once you see it, automation will become obvious, and that fear of being left behind transforms into a completely different question. How do I start using this before it's too late? Most people get misled when they hear the term AI automation. They immediately imagine something complex, expensive, or technical. They think you need to be a programmer or build robots. That misunderstanding alone keeps them stuck. Here's the biggest lie about AI automation. It's not some advanced, mysterious thing. In reality, it's just a series of simple decisions happening automatically. Once you see that, everything clicks. Let me ask you this. Have you ever done the same boring task over and over? Copying data, replying to similar emails, checking forms, moving information from one place to another? You probably thought, there has to be a better way, but assumed AI was overkill. That's exactly where automation lives, not in flashy demos, but in repetitive work nobody talks about. Here's the part nobody explains clearly. AI automation isn't about replacing thinking. It's about removing waiting, eliminating manual steps, and clearing human bottlenecks. The easiest way to understand it is with a simple mental model. Every automation has 3 parts: input, decision, and action. That's it. No jargon, no hype, just input, decision, action. Once you start looking at work this way, you'll realize how much of your day fits this pattern. Input is just information coming in: an email, a message, a form, a file, a request. Decision is where AI steps in, classifying, summarizing, choosing, or understanding that information. Action is what happens next: sending a reply, updating a spreadsheet, creating a task, notifying someone, or triggering another system. The reason people feel overwhelmed by AI tools is they jump straight to the decision part without understanding the system around it. They play with prompts, get cool answers, and then wonder, now what? How does this save time? How does this connect to real work? That gap is exactly where automation lives, connecting AI thinking to real-world action. Once you see this, you stop asking, which AI tool should I use? Instead, you ask a far more powerful question. What inputs do I already have? What decisions do I repeat? And what actions happen every single time? That's how businesses scale quietly, how individuals feel more productive without working extra hours, and how AI stops being scary and starts being obvious. If you're thinking, wait, most AI automation is just connecting simple steps? Yes, that's exactly what no one told you. It's not flashy, it doesn't sell hype, but it works. And in the next part, I'm going to walk through a real, simple example showing this model in action. You'll see AI automation at work in the real world and finally understand what's been happening behind the scenes this whole time. What if the work you do every day is already being done faster by AI? Understanding the idea of automation is one thing. Seeing it in action is where the fear either disappears or turns into motivation. Imagine something simple that happens every day. A new inquiry arrives. Maybe it's a customer message, a lead form, a support request, or just an email asking the same questions repeatedly. Normally, a human opens it, reads it, figures out what it's about, decides what to do, and then responds or forwards it. This process seems small, but when it happens dozens or hundreds of times, it becomes invisible work that drains time. This is where most people don't realize automation has already replaced effort. In an AI workflow, that message becomes the input the moment it arrives. Instead of a human reading first, AI acts as the first filter. It instantly asks simple questions. What is this about? Sales, support, urgent, or irrelevant? Does it match past patterns? Does it need a response or just routing? The decision step happens in seconds, without emotion, distraction, or delay. And based on that decision, an action fires automatically. Sales inquiries go into a CRM with a summary. Support issues create tickets with priority. Spam gets ignored. Common questions get instant replies. Notice what just happened. Nobody lost a job, but waiting disappeared. Response times dropped, mistakes reduced, and humans now only handle messages that truly need judgment. This realization makes people uncomfortable. Once you see it, you notice how many roles exist just to bridge the gap between input and action. And you start asking yourself, how much of my work is just filtering, sorting, summarizing, or forwarding information? What would happen if AI did that instantly? This is where the real shift is happening, quietly, without announcements. Some businesses feel faster, smoother, calmer. Others feel chaotic and overwhelmed. Not because one is smarter, but because some have automated the boring decisions. If you're wondering why nobody explains AI this way, it's because most content shows the tool, not the workflow. But workflows are where leverage lives. Once you see this, you can't unsee it. Resumes being screened, reports summarized, invoices processed, meetings transcribed into tasks. Everything follows the same pattern. Input, decision, action, over and over. The scary part isn't that AI can do this. It's that many people are still competing on speed and accuracy in tasks machines now handle effortlessly. If that thought makes you uncomfortable, that's good. Discomfort means awareness, and awareness is the first step to staying relevant. In the next part, we're going to explore why most people never adopt AI automation, even after seeing examples like this. We'll uncover the hidden barriers that silently stop people from taking advantage of the same systems. Most people see AI and think it's simple. So why isn't everyone doing it? The answer has nothing to do with intelligence or effort. It's about how AI is presented. Most people are taught AI backwards. They see tools first, features first, prompts first. That creates the illusion that AI automation is about mastering software instead of understanding systems. So they jump from tool to tool, watch tutorials, copy prompts, feel productive for a moment, and then get stuck again. Nothing actually connects to their real work. That's where the fear of being left behind quietly grows. It feels like everyone else is using AI while you're just experimenting. And here's the secret nobody tells you. Automation doesn't fail because technology is hard. It fails because people try to automate chaos. Chaos can't be automated. It can only be exposed. Automation forces uncomfortable questions. Why does this task exist? Why do we do it this way? Does a human really need to touch this at all? Many people avoid these questions because they threaten routines, roles, and even identities. That's why businesses delay automation until things break, costs rise, or competitors move faster. It's easier to keep humans busy than to redesign workflows. On an individual level, the same thing happens. Learning AI automation isn't about going faster. It's about unlearning habits, manually checking, responding, or moving information, and letting go of control. That feels risky, especially when your value has always been tied to being reliable, responsive, and detail-oriented. People tell themselves AI is not ready, too risky, or prone to mistakes, while quietly ignoring the fact that humans make mistakes too, just slower and more expensively. This creates a strange situation. People understand AI automation intellectually, but resist it emotionally. Adopting it forces a shift from doing work to designing work, a skill most of us were never taught. If you're thinking, where do I even start without breaking everything? That's exactly the right question. The people who succeed don't start by replacing themselves. They start by removing friction, one tiny workflow at a time. In the next part, we'll talk about how to spot low-risk, high-impact automation opportunities that most people overlook. You'll learn how to start using AI in a way that feels safe, practical, and immediately useful, instead of overwhelming. The scary part is over. Now let's see how you can use AI to gain control immediately. Once you understand how AI automation works and why most people avoid it, the real question becomes, how do you start without feeling overwhelmed or making costly mistakes? The simplest way is to look for the small, repetitive tasks in your daily work that drain time but don't require creativity. These are the low-hanging fruits where AI can instantly remove friction. Ask yourself, which inputs do I constantly receive? Which decisions do I repeat hundreds of times? And what actions follow those decisions? By mapping just one workflow like this, you can see the exact path AI can take over. You don't need expensive tools or technical skills. Even simple integrations, triggers, or pre-built AI models can handle it. And here's what blows most people away. Once you remove friction from a single workflow, the effects multiply. Other connected tasks speed up, errors drop, and hours of hidden work disappear. Nobody loses a job. Chaos doesn't erupt. Everything just runs smoother. That's why businesses that seem to move faster aren't smarter. They're simply leveraging automation silently, while everyone else still runs manually. The most important mental shift is realizing AI isn't taking over your work. It's taking over the boring, repetitive parts. Humans can now focus on judgment, creativity, and strategy. Once you adopt this mindset, fear turns into opportunity. You start noticing gaps everywhere, processes that could be automated, decisions that could be accelerated, results that could be multiplied. The most powerful people in any organization aren't just experts, they're experts who understand automation. Here's a practical example to make it concrete. Imagine every customer inquiry, every repetitive report, every routine email, every data transfer is handled automatically in seconds. You're free to make the decisions that actually require human insight. Suddenly, the fear of being replaced evaporates. Your value goes up, not down. The key takeaway is simple. Start small. Focus on repetitive tasks. Map the input decision action path. Implement automation. Watch the ripple effect. This is how real-world AI automation works, silently, effectively, and profitably. If you've ever thought, why didn't anyone explain AI like this before? Now you know. It's not flashy. It's not hype. It's just the system everyone should understand. And the sooner you start, the sooner fear turns into control, and control turns into real advantage. Now it all comes together, the moment where fear turns into power. Understanding AI automation and seeing examples is one thing, but closing the loop is where the real shift happens. Let's connect the dots. The fears you feel of being left behind, missing opportunities, or seeing workflows disappear are real, but they only exist because most people never see the system behind the tools. The invisible structure quietly decides what gets done and what doesn't. Now that you do see it, you have a choice. Let fear paralyze you, or let understanding empower you. Once you grasp the input decision action framework, AI stops being overwhelming and starts being obvious. Every repetitive task becomes a candidate for automation. Every bottleneck is a place to gain leverage. Every workflow you map puts you steps ahead of those still guessing. Imagine the shift. Instead of scrambling to keep up, you're designing workflows, connecting steps, removing friction, and watching processes move faster, more accurately, and more efficiently. That's why businesses that succeed are doing it quietly, while others panic. They understand AI isn't about replacement, it's about amplification, amplifying human judgment, creativity, and strategy by removing low-value work. The most important insight is simple but rarely explained. Automation doesn't start with a tool, it starts with clarity. Understand your workflow, identify inputs, decisions, and actions, and then let AI handle the heavy lifting. Once you start doing this, the fear of being late evaporates. You're no longer competing blindly. You're leveraging a system, designing work intentionally, and gaining exponential leverage over anyone still doing everything manually. This is why the knowledge gap matters more than the tool gap. The people who succeed aren't the ones with the fanciest AI subscriptions. They're the ones who understand the system, start small, iterate, and connect workflows. If you followed this video, You can now see the same invisible system everywhere. Emails, reports, support tickets, content creation, customer follow-ups. It's all input, decision, action. The only limit is how quickly you map it and implement it. Here's the final takeaway. Fear isn't your enemy. Confusion isn't your enemy. Waiting too long isn't your enemy. Ignorance is. Now that you're no longer ignorant, you can start small, start practical, and gradually turn AI automation into your advantage. The people who act now aren't just surviving the AI revolution, they're quietly thriving, designing workflows that work while others watch. The secret is simple, systematic, and repeatable. The sooner you embrace it, the sooner fear turns into power, and power turns into real-world results. Subscribe to X AI Automations and turn AI into your advantage. Don't get left behind.